distribute the handout. They are sort of, in layman's terms, what I'm going to say. And I also corrected one obvious mistake I made. How can I touch it? I used the word, I forgot what it was, but it's corrected. And it's correct. It had to do with my poor English. Anyhow, I was very impressed by what Larry said. And there's no doubt in my mind and in your mind that the kind of evidence Larry presented weighed 1,000 times more than what I did. The fact that his detectors were separated from the electrolyte makes a big, big difference. That's the weakest point. I'm going to report on a little quick study I took recently. It took 3 weeks or 4 weeks and maybe 2 or 3 weeks to prepare everything. And it's an unprecedented event in the history of cold fusion, as far as I know, and I agree with this, of course, with Stephen. Stephen Krivet finally organized several team independently, do the same experiment at the same time, and then we compare results, and it happened. I'm just one of those, and the 4 or 5 are still coming. I'm sure he was going to summarize it. It wasn't in my slide, but it just occurred to me. And so I think there should be no doubt that something obviously is going on in that field. And it's still ridiculous that authorities in mainstream science boycotting, calling this kind of research unscientific, refusing published paper in refereed journals. It's just unprecedented and highly interesting. Why has it happened? Maybe there are some sociologists here to analyze this phenomena, and it's probably worth doing. Anyhow, I have my slides here, and I'm going, where is this thing here? Oh. Sorry. Anyway, before I go to what I'm going to say, I put a couple of slides here. I'm not going to comment. You just read them. If time is left, I'll come back to them. I don't want to waste time on generalities, but these are important topics, so I'll just go quickly. And this is Stephen's side. That's the origin of what I'm presenting is described here. And that's, of course, what Pamela was talking today in Frank Gordon. And we just did the experiment and we saw the same thing, which is by itself is very exciting. There are differences in interpretation, and I'm going to come to them. And as I said before, by the way, I have a website, if you don't know it. I have nothing else to do, so I just keep learning and summarizing what I learn, and you might find it worth doing. That's what we should do. You all know this, right? So I'm talking about our attempt means one group, and everything I'm saying is tentative because there are still 5 groups to report what they did. We all did the same thing, same experiment. Okay, so it's essentially 2 electrolytic cells in series connected with the power supply. We measure the current, and there are little boxes there. These are integrated circuits which keep the current constant no matter what happens in the cell. That was part of the protocol, and the author of this is actually present here. He's going to talk after me. I don't know if he's going to talk about this. But everything we did, he was a big help to us. That's one of the cells schematically. It's 2 centimeters wide and 8 centimeters tall. And it has a platinum anode, silver cathode, and CR directly connected to the cathode, which is not good because nobody really used CR in the electrolyte. outside, but that's how we did it. And those who don't know what CR is, it's just material you can have in your glasses. Why it's called CR39? Because the company which patented this material in 1940 is called Columbia Research, and their product, maybe it was, I don't know what, maybe somebody was born. That's our protocol, approximately. We try to follow it. Preparation stage and the actual deposition stage. That's a piece of our CR, 2 centimeter wide, 1 centimeter tall, and it's taken by just a digital camera, normal camera, high resolution camera. And we see those things here. That was the wire was touching here, here, and there, and there was another wire going across, silver wire, cut in contact with CR. And then this piece we cut because at some point it was mentioned that the CR39 was damaging the electrolyte and is no longer performs like normal CR39. So before doing anything to our big CR39, we cut a piece, we expose it to alpha particles, we etched it with a just normal like a virgin CR. So we proceeded in the normal way, and there is nothing special about this. Same protocol etching. And here what we see, those are copious tracks. This is 1/10 of a millimeter. The distance between those two small little things is 10 microns. So you can see, and that of course was presumably assumed to be due to nuclear origin, and I also accepted this as a tentative starting point. Then this is the same thing in higher magnification. That magnification is 40. That's the same magnification, 200. We see some kind of stuff on the background. I'm going to focus on those big dark things here. And that's an open question. What's there behind? I don't know. This is americium with the same alpha particles from americium source under the same magnification, 200. And that's magnification 400. I have double and triples, plenty of them. And that's americium on the same magnification. Now I'm coming to the heart of the matter, what I think is important here. That's this. George Meyer referred to calibration curve, which was done by his co-workers from Russia. What they did, they took CR39, they found many accelerators in Russia and exposed it to alpha particles of different energies. The top line is the energy for alpha particles, the lower for protons. And they just measured diameter. That diameter is in microns. That is a formidable tool. It's a great, great gift to our community that they did it. Because without this, we just wave our hands. And this is a really tool with which you can interpret results which I showed before. And I'm going to do it now. That's in essence what I'm going to present here. And I think everybody perhaps should do the same thing, or even better. So this is their curve. The only bad thing about this curve is that it has limited validity. It's only valid if you use their kind of etching, the time of etching, temperature. All right, what can I do? And that's okay, I'll skip it. That's actually how time depends on temperature. So I just renormalized their curve. And this was 5 micron, I call it 1. So I introduce a new unit of size, which I call prot. So prot is a track created by a proton of 3 MeV, no matter how long you etch, no matter, etc. So it gives it some universality. And then I compare my pits, and I found out that the pits which I observed were about 2.5 times larger than alpha particles. And therefore their size is 4.25 pits. So if I go prots, so if I go back to this curve, so they should be somewhere here. So I claim that alpha particles cannot have line, it doesn't go left to infinity, because I know enough about the stopping power of alpha particles. As they slow down, they start catching electrons, they become more and more neutrons. So I suspect that's the highest point that alpha particles can have, and this is that line, it's my line, it's not their line. So I'm saying that those tracks are somewhere here. They can be fission fragments. They can be if you want to, but you know, if something is the right size, it doesn't mean it's fission fragment. We need additional evidence. Okay, so that's my justification why I believe that our things cannot be due to alpha particles or particles such as protons or neutrons either, because neutrons not protons, so you have the same thing from neutrons, protons. And the magnetic effect, we confirm it. I don't understand it, how it is. That's an open question, and I don't have time to discuss it. But the fact is, we did confirm it. No tracks on the other chip. Remember, there were two chips in series, same current, everything identical, except one of them, pair of magnets, the other one is not. No tracks. Please be aware. Okay, again, I'm just, don't take it. Wait till others report as well. And final comment, that's it. Yeah, that's it. You can read it now.
Thank you.
One more thing I forgot. Sometimes you see something like this, obviously not nuclear particles. They look like tracks, but it's obviously scratch. So one has to be very, very careful that sometimes things look like, but that's not particles. Okay.
I didn't quite understand your normalization step where you said that you came up with the unit of a proton.
Yeah.
If this was universal, what did you do there exactly?
Okay, call it arbitrary units. Whatever was, I just changed the scale. Yeah, go back. I just come.
You put in time to that? I didn't understand.
I just came back to the. Can you go back to the scale? Yeah. Any other question? I'll answer your question, Mama.
Did you look at the back side of your CR39?
I didn't have a chance to look at it. It just was ended 3 days before the conference. I didn't plan to come to this conference, but I figured I'll do it. Actually, I can ski. Tomorrow I'll ski. This is their curve, I'm coming to this. This is their curve. And I just say, all right, I'm going to call this one and everything else normalized. You can call it arbitrary units. I believe that if you change H, what?
You're saying you're taking the lowest...
Yeah, this one, I call it 1. So this becomes 2, this becomes 3, and the 4.5 is somewhere there. That's
I don't know.
We'll talk later. You said
it's not clear that...
We'll talk personally of this.
Yeah.
Call it arbitrary units.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah, I just want to add one comment. Your comment as to why these have to be some perhaps more exotic species. And your ratio of the diameters was the reason. And the reason that you stated was that a neutron hitting a proton would still make a proton-sized hole. And that's true, except that you also have, as I showed, you can also hit an oxygen or a carbon, and in fact, that's exactly what gives you these much larger, as much as 5 or 6 times larger diameter holes.
Possible, I agree.
Exactly.
So
That's
I
probably
forgot.
what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't occur to me, but during your talk, it occurred to me and I forgot to mention.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you.
New Energy Institute, an independent, non-profit, public benefit corporation which provides information and educational services to help bring about a clean energy revolution.